The statue of the thousand-armed, hundred-eyed god is also known as the statue of the Omnipresent god. Supposedly, it is meant to represent the Shogun's vision of eternity, or that's what we've been told. But curiously, the statue is cut in a strikingly similar form to that of the priestess of the Narukami shrine, Yae Miko. Could this be a simple coincidence? Or could the similarity be involved with why the Shogun now exists in an emotionless, Euthymic state? In this video, I'll explore why I believe we've been told exactly what's going on, and why it ties into what will likely be the name of the final Archon questline in Inazuma: Omnipresence over mortals, and didn't even realize it. But first, BenQ sent me over one of their e-reader gaming lights. The light's goal is to reduce clutter while optimizing the lighting in your setup. This helps keep your desk area clean and sleek while helping to reduce eye strain during long gaming sessions. I have to say, while all this purple light is great for an attractive stream, it is not great for maintaining energy or creating an environment conducive to productivity. With BenQ's gaming light in my setup, I have found that I'm able to maintain a more consistent level of energy by ensuring that my studio is well lit, but in such a way that it does not distract from the mood lighting I have established. It mounts without issue on top of most panels, even ultra-wides, without causing any glare. So if you're looking for a great way to keep your energy levels high while gaming, and simultaneously increase your productivity without ingesting an unhealthy amount of caffeine, head over to the affiliate link in the description. All the way back, in Genshin Impact version 1.1, Zhongli told us of Inazuma's Electro Archon. He explained that similarly to himself and Liyue, she has many titles. Her actual name, Flaw, is the least commonly used. Most common is Raiden Shogun, but she has another title, Narukami Ogasho. Narukami is a god of lightning in Japanese mythology, so it is likely that this is why the name was chosen for her by MiHoYo. Ogasho, on the other hand, is interestingly enough described as a title of honor given to a former shogun. This title was revealed to us on Genshin Impact's official Twitter page, along with her art reveal several weeks ago. But it's hard for me to shake the idea that it may be foretelling her retirement from the role of Electro Archon after what is likely to be the inevitable loss of her gnosis to the Tsaritsas Fatui in the upcoming story. The name Narukami has appeared elsewhere in Genshin Impact: the Narukami Shrine, the site of the sacred Sakura, which is said to defend Inazuma, and was once believed to cleanse the lands of impurity. This shrine's head priestess, Yae Miko, during the events of the immovable god in the Eternal Euthymia questline, seems to mysteriously have had a deep understanding of the madness Domon experienced, as well as the events which drove his ambitions when he was younger. It was as if she had witnessed them herself. She laid out the details of Domon's life, as well as that of his senior and his master, without effort, research, or questioning, as if she had been there with them. All of this with little of the actual details having ever been provided to her directly. And so I mentioned at the start of the video that the statue of the omnipresent god looks suspiciously like Yae Miko, which lends to a connection between the Raiden Shogun and Yae herself, if this visual similarity was indeed intentional. And then there is the cryptic line Yae states after summarizing Domon's mental state, where she mentions a certainly fatally flawed friend. This is likely the Shogun she is referring to, as it was mentioned by Zhongli during the Genshin Impact version 1.5 stream that Lady Yae, Flaw, and Zhongli are all old friends. With that said, the line establishes that Lady Yae understands on a deep level that the Shogun's current path is leading her to self-destruction. In my previous theory titled Why Hunt Visions, I explained that I believe the Raiden Shogun is suffering from some form of mental breakdown, and that this is what has resulted in her state of euthymia. This in turn results in the perception to her people that she has become emotionless. This mental state, while less turbulent on the surface compared to that of Domon, is nonetheless internally very potent, particularly within an individual as strong-willed as Baal. Domon, in contrast to the other two individuals who had their visions taken, reacted very differently to his loss. And it was this scene which was used as the catalyst to introduce Yae Miko to us in the story. While the other two characters experienced substantial memory loss, Domon exhibited no such memory trauma. Why create a scenario that is so dramatically different for Domon? Well, what if the incident with Domon is foreshadowing a similar incident in the Shogun's life? An event in which Baal, through her own ambition and desire to provide an unchanging eternity to Inazuma, forcibly usurped Yae Miko as the original Electro Archon, with her godly principle of omnipresence being everywhere at once. This would explain why the Shogun drew the Traveler into a plane of her own making during the events of Stillness, Sublimation of Shadow. She wanted to inspect the Traveler herself while evading an undesired eavesdropper. And it gives significant context to why Yae Miko understands Domon's condition well, because she's seen it, but also lived through it herself. Here, Lady Yae speaks not just from the sight of her omnipresent power, but also from experience. Once thinking herself above rank and reward, Yae lived the role of Anzai, or Domon's master, coming into conflict with her former friend. In Domon, she can see the same madness that today manifests itself within her old friend Baal, a mind torn in two by the contradiction hidden within her own godly principle.
As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament, it does nothing to prevent his descent into the depths.
These lines resonate well with Lady Yae's commentary that stillness of mind and freedom from all agitation are not something that can be achieved, but is also now, with this understanding, the perfect parallel for the Raiden Shogun in Domon's position. Having attempted to achieve that stillness, but instead achieved only euthymia. This was brought on by the recent realization that ambition itself is often what brings about change. Thus, ambition is the enemy of eternity. The Vision Hunt Decree was born. Ambition caused Domon to challenge Anzai, and it caused his master to challenge him in turn. Similarly, ambition drove the Shogun to challenge her friend Yae for the role of Archon, so that she could embark on her quest to bring about an unchanging eternity. But after initiating the decree, the Shogun realized the contradiction of her quest. Unchanging eternity is, and always was, flawed. The only true, unchanging eternity, the only constant, is change itself. Her goal of squelching ambition had sparked change in the hearts of her people, driving them to action and stirring rebellion in hopes of seeing the Vision Hunt Decree repealed. This brings meaning to the line we heard 10 months ago, spoken by Dainsleif in the storyline trailer. In the secluded land of the immortal Shogun, the Bakufu rules eternal. But what do mortals see in the eternity chased after by their god? So ambition is the enemy, yet the Raiden Shogun's own ambition, her singular tracked goal of eternity, is the only thing she can rely on to rise above the pain of her needless betrayal, enabling her to focus on the path to eternity. Essentially, one part of Baal's mind remains focused on the quest, on the future, and the other part is trapped, like Domon, in the past, doubting the very quest, the actions that set her on the path to begin with, and it's chipping away at her mental stability. The resulting anxiety draws her back to the start of everything, the betrayal of her friend Yae, which is why Yae compares the anxiety of Domon to the anxiety of a fatally flawed friend of hers, with a mind trapped in a loop. Her ambition leads to doubt. Doubt is buried by ambition, which is again brought into question by more doubt. Round and round it goes in her mind, in its emotionless, eternal euthymia. With this established, The statue in Inazuma City is called the Omnipresent God and resembles Yae Miko because it is the physical manifestation of the Shogun's guilt. Yae is the Omnipresent God. Her gaze is always watching her struggle against her descent into the depths. The Shogun cannot purge it from her mind. So subconsciously, the part of her which doubts the quest has seen fit to erect a statue with 100 eyes that burn through her, reminding her of her treachery. Internally, she's attacking herself, but her ambitious side fights back by suppressing her emotions and sacrificing visions to the statue in a vain effort to appease the omnipresent God she once was loyal to. All that so that she cannot feel the cold sting of her flawed principle and its many implications. As a final note, Yae claims that it was premature for her and the traveler to have met at the Narukami Shrine. But all of this I've discussed provides context as to why Lady Yae claimed to have high hopes for the traveler. She knows only too well what's going on with the Shogun. As the god of omnipresence, she can see everything. And her intuition that the traveler would arrive and help restore order to a nation she once presided over lends a logical mindset to her statement of hope that she will not be disappointed. I feel it's likely not out of a petty hope to regain her own former status as an Archon. I believe she's moved beyond that, but instead recognizes that her former friend's only hope for salvation is the loss of her own status as Archon, thusly releasing her from the obligation of fulfilling her promise to provide an unchanging eternity to the nation of Inazuma, releasing her from the loop of eternal euthymia. And there we have it. The Raiden Shogun's ambition set her on a fruitless path of betrayal, a path which was fatally flawed from the outset and was always impossible to achieve. This realization caught her mind in a cycle of ambition and doubt as guilt over her needless betrayal crashed her psyche into an emotionless state. Meanwhile, the omnipresent god, Lady Yae, knows the only way to break the loop is absolution, and is now waiting on the traveler to intervene, restoring the mind of her former friend so that she may begin to heal, and thus become the Narukami Ogasho. What do you think of the Shogun and Yae Miko's possible history? Do you think the Domon portion of the immovable god in the Eternal Euthymia questline was actually foreshadowing a similar scenario between the Raiden Shogun and Yae Miko? How do you think the Omnipresence over Mortals questline will play out? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this theory, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, as I am currently pushing to reach 100,000 subscribers before the end of 2021. While you're at it, don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you are notified when my next video goes live. Thanks for watching Teyvat Historia. May the 7 guide you, travelers.